Another episode. Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Melo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Boogie, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everybody. Tuning in from wherever you tuning in from. Yo, whether you streaming, whether you jumping on from the Twitter, whether you jumping on from the YouTube, you got the widescreen version. Get your popcorn ready. It's Gas presents sports for the culture. I'm here with the gang, La Familia. You know what time it is. I'm going to introduce myself. I am the host for the evening. My name's Gruff Lion. You see my @ name here. Y'all see me here every week. I had a nice little week off, nice little vacation, and I'm ready to fry some y'all up, man. March Madness, maybe. It's really just like the best time of the year, man. But let's get this thing started. Top right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
At Bryce, XXV, Double I, a.k.a. Mr. Big Leaguer, a.k.a. my mama's favorite gas panelist. She always going to rank me number one, like the NCAAs, man. I'm number one ranking, man. Final four every time in my mama's eyes. Hey, man, it's always a pleasure to be on with y'all fellas. I'm hyped for this. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what this episode's about. It's NCAA time. We all locked in. Been a hell of a tournament. Everybody brackets busted. Mine is looking horrible. But, yeah, let's get it popping.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. One thing we know is the rankings, man, it don't always mean what they mean, man. Yeah, anything could happen. Top's handled. Bottom left.
It's your boy D-Melo Ragu, and if you're just talking about the NCAA tournament, do you know degenerate gambler like myself, either you're hurting or you're fucking amazed because how these underdogs gave you such a boost in your pockets and you're balling with that stimmy check.
Yeah, man. Some stimmy checks. I did not receive my stimmy check, but you know, a brother like me, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat regardless. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying. It's all good. It's all good, baby. Last but not least, man. Bottom right.
Yeah, man, it's your boy Young Rome 22 on all socials as always. A lot to get into today with the tourney. A lot to talk about. I'm honestly excited. If your bracket isn't busted, I'm gonna need you to give me the lotto numbers because you got a crystal ball somewhere, and I'm gonna need that. But let's get into it, fellas.
Yeah, dog. All right, yeah, man. We had a pretty eventful first weekend in college basketball, man. For March Madness, man, we was just missing it from last season, man. We had a nice little play-in set of games, and we had a whole crop of upsets, man. So many upsets across the board. We had number 2 seeds going down in the first round. We have in-state rivalries going down. We've got all types of madness, man, and that's why they call it what they call it, March Madness, man. I'm loving it. Yo, what up? Yeah, man, we talking March Madness, man. We talking upsets, man. So let's jump right into it. What was y'all biggest upset, man? Of all the upsets, I don't even go as far as say that it might be the year of the upset in college basketball. Bryce, who's your biggest upset of all the upsets so far in the tournament?
Oh, man, I feel like there's only one answer to that. It's ORU, man. Oral Roberts, man. They shocked the world, and that's a fact, man. My guy, I hope I'm getting his name right. I done heard it enough times now. Max Asmus, I think is how you say it. Hey, boy is a baller. He's only like, 5'9"? I think they said he's 165. Putting the team on his back, man. I've been very, very impressed with Oral Roberts. You know, every year we have one of those teams. A couple years ago it was Florida Gulf Coast. You know, one of those teams that kind of just come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But Oral Roberts is doing their thing, man. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. It's great to see. And I hope their run continues. I hope they make the Final Four because I think it's time one of those mid-major type schools to go on another run. And even if they make it to the championship, I think they're in the opposite bracket as Gonzaga, I believe, right? So that would be a hell of a matchup if those two teams squared off, man. You have the elite powerhouse versus the unheralded underdog. I would love to see it. Shout out to Max Asmus. Shout out to Oral Roberts University. They doing something right. 15 seed making a run like that. I hope they got good fortune, man, because they definitely busted my bracket for sure.
Yeah, my bracket was busted as well because I actually had Ohio State in the finals. So yeah, that was pretty tragic for me. Yeah, Big Ten. I was bullish on the Big Ten, and the Big Ten. I mean, top to bottom, pretty deep, but it's been rough, tough sledding for the Big Ten, man. Geraldo, what's your biggest upset of the weekend?
Man, I called it with Rutgers and Clemson, man. And then Rutgers with a close game to only lose by 3 on their second game into the tournament. Which is, oh, man. Are you family, man? I may have not gone to Rutgers, but I lived in New Brunswick. So, man, oh, man, it was just a sad defeat for Rutgers. But it's promising now that you see some good college recruits are going down to stay over here in the RU nation. And, for my biggest takeaway from this is all the big talents that are not going to the college division right here and going into the NBA overseas. Look how even in talent this year is when you're looking at this March Madness. It's pretty even in all the fields except for you got your Gonzaga's, big schools. But look at these small schools now. These schools are fighting and they're making this March Madness the best March Madness we had in a long time. Maybe because we're deprived from last year that we're feeling like this, but at the same time, when have we seen this kind of level of competition where it's just not? By now, your your 16s are nothing but big name schools. Now you got small schools, not even just one. You got at least 3 of these teams, and they're still dancing.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts. That's one thing I say is the playing field is definitely seemed to be more level than it's really ever been. You can see that. You see 11 seeds advancing. You got teams like Syracuse in there. Rutgers, man, that was a heartbreaking, man. I felt like they could have won that game, man. That was their game actually for the taking. They were up, and then they went on that run, man. One thing I'll say, that dude with the hip injury, man, he balled out. He had one of the more, I'd say, heroic. And he's a dog, man. He was really, yeah, Giroux. He had a hell of a game, man, for them. And one key stat was Houston's offensive rebounding. They actually they're number one by a margin in the NCAA in points off offensive rebounds. And ultimately, that was the difference in the game. I believe it was about 16 points they scored off of that. And that was huge for them. Rutgers kind of got in that prevent offense down the stretch. And that was kind of ended up cutting their time a little short. And Ron couldn't hit the big one that we've seen him hit it many times. But I thought Rutgers, I think if they would have had that game, I think they could have easily been matched up with Syracuse, who they actually beat earlier in the season. And then they would have been looking at an Elite Eight appearance. But
man, I think let me jump in on that real quick though, Scrub, because that Rutgers game, I mean, obviously me and you got a vested interest in it being RU grads. But just thinking back to that game, it's just and I said this to you fellas, I believe in our group chat, man. Coaching matters so much more in the NCAA tournament than it does on any other level of basketball. Like in high school, for some reason, if you got the best dudes, you're gonna show out. Even in the league, if you got 2 of the best, 10 guys on the court at any given moment, your team is usually gonna show out. But in college ball, there's just so many factors, so many other factors. I mean, you've got the extended play clock, so you can have different ways to kind of control the game. You've got the 10-second rule, you know what I'm saying? So, you've got teams running full court presses where, every player is not uber athletic, so you can run a full court press and turn somebody over possibly. And then, just thinking about back to the Rutgers game, I feel like at the end of that game, they were up about 2 to 4 points. For the last minute and a half, they kept a steady lead between 2 and 4 points. Usually it was a 2-point lead. And during that time, they kind of felt like they had the game in the bag, and they were trying to slow up the pace so much. Like they were holding the ball, the whole shot clock, letting the whole shot clock run out, and then trying to make a move with 3 or 4 seconds on the shot clock. They were holding the ball like they had a 10-point lead. And it just goes to show you how much that coaching matters. On the other hand, Houston's coach was letting his guys run the offense as soon as they came down the court. They down 2, they running offense. Rutgers come down, they holding the ball. To me, that wasn't on the players, that was on coaching. Don't get me wrong. They coaching staff done a hell of a job this season. I mean, that roster they put together at RU is leaps and bounds better than what it was when I was there. But at the same time, man, when it gets into crunch time, the better coach gonna show in them college games, man. I'm convinced.
Yeah, I mean, we talking about 2 great coaches on both sides, man. So that was a premium matchup. Both programs, that Houston program, you could easily say, since he's taken over, especially over the last 3 years, they've firmly established themselves as a powerhouse. I say powerhouse program, period. Definitely. But Rome, man, we didn't forget about you. What's your biggest upset of the weekend, bro?
Hey, Scruff, you might have to help me out with the pronunciation, but my biggest upset was definitely Loyola Chicago over Illinois. I hope I got that right. But
Loyola.
yeah, but Bryce hit the nail on the head, man. Coaching matters big time in the NCAA, and I think their coach Porter Mosier has done a hell of a job. I really like the strategy on defense specifically that he employed against Illinois. I feel like he put the big man in the middle, forced him to put up shots. It's a dangerous game to play, but if the team doesn't hit their shots and you can get your offense clicking, which it looked like they did, you could be in for a win. I mean, this team, I believe they made the Final Four not too long ago, last time they were in the tournament. So they could be on their way for another Final Four. G mentioned it earlier. This has been the most level playing field I think we've ever seen, or at least that I can remember in the tournament. I mean, even at the start of the tournament, we had some of the bigger schools not even in it. So from Jump Street, it's been, anybody's ball game, and I think it's playing out that way. We're going to talk about our Final Four predictions here in a minute. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody has one of these Cinderella teams actually making it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be a good year for the Cinderella. I mean, the glass slipper is probably there's multiple glass slippers laid out at this point on the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of Cinderella talk right now. Loyola, I actually seen something on Twitter. The Sister Jean, is that her name? Sister Jean. They said Sister Jean, man, she could be praying for anything, but she prays for college basketball and for brackets, and I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, real talk. I can respect that. But yeah, I mean,
Shout
it's
out
pretty
Sister
big.
Jean.
That's a big. Yeah, shout out Sister Jean. She's kind of like iconic now. 2 years in a row now. Definitely a big figure. But there's a lot of big stories and great moments in the tournament. So I want to talk about kind of like the best moments of the tournament so far. For me, I'm gonna lead off with my guy from Ohio. Man, my guy from Ohio, man. He didn't have an offer. He didn't really have anything, and now he just led a nice little upset. And I was really, really happy to see my guy balling out. And he's proven himself as I think maybe potentially an NBA type of prospect. Jason Preston is the name. It was escaping me for a moment, but kid's nice, man. That was a nice little moment for me. But what about y'all, man? Any moments that really stuck out to y'all? Best moments of the tourney?
I guess I'll go ahead and jump in, man. I think there was a couple good moments. A lot of my picks went to the wayside, but I think that one moment that I did really enjoy. I mean, it's obviously RU. I mean, they hadn't made a run in the tournament since the '70s. Being a graduate of the school, man, and being able to watch my alma mater, like I can remember me and Scruff going to Rutgers basketball games when they were trash, getting blown out by 20 points. We were in the Big East, and everybody would blow us out. All we had was my guy Hamadi Njai, man, getting big blocks out there. That's all we had, though. 7-footer, But like just seeing the way that program is turned around, man, it gives me a ton of hope for the future of the program. We've always talked about, me and Scruff has always talked about how many, primetime players come out of New Jersey, and now Rutgers is starting to get some of those players. If you look at the roster, a good amount of the players are from New Jersey. I mean, and they're skilled, very skilled basketball players, like from the top to the bottom of the roster. So for me personally, like that was definitely my biggest moment, was being able to turn on the tournament and watch my school ball out, because it just doesn't happen a lot for my Scarlet Knights, man.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a flash in the pan, because the thing is, man, they was gonna make it last year. They was already set to make it last year, so they would already made it last year. It would have an extra experience, and they're gonna be back again, I think, very soon, possibly next year. Ron Harper gonna be back, but there's some younger prospects. We're seeing more pipeline talent in New Jersey stay in Jersey, and Jersey got some of the most elite ball talent. So definitely a program. I think Peichel and the boys gonna be back next year. But y'all, any big moments? Actually, big time performers. Is anybody any players that have stood out? I know Cade Cunningham was a guy that NBA prospect got worthy. I think he's definitely in my top 3 prospects, and he's not 3. I think he's that kind of a player, but he got bounced. One thing I'll say about the tourney, and is at least my observation, is that if you're a big star on the tourney, it doesn't really mean squat. You know what I'm saying? You could be a big star in the tourney, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to actually advance in the tourney. I mean, Coach Barnes from Texas had KD. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't do squat with KD, man.
That's
Big
right.
stars get bounced on the regular in the tourney. There's certain stars like Melo and Kemba Walker. They got that certain that college prestige on them. But that kind of actually makes me think about a certain kind of player. I don't want to disrespect my guy, but I would say Luka Garza probably got one of the most punchable faces I've ever seen in my entire life.
Disrespectful.
Nah, but he's a dog, man. He's kind of dominated the Big Ten, man. He's real crafty, big. I'm curious what y'all think. What do y'all think about Luka Garza? Do y'all think that Luka Garza is y'all think he's an NBA type level prospect? I'm kind of like not sold on him, but I'm curious to see what y'all think.
He scored like 32 points, right?
Yeah, he scored 32 points.
Balled out.
Yeah. So you think he's nice. He's really nice. But y'all think he could be an NBA player? What y'all think, man?
Honestly, I was waiting for this part of the show because I really wanted to get your opinion, Scruff. Because in my opinion, I would say yes. Like I look at him and I feel like he checks all the boxes. But I know how deep you are in your scout game. So if you're saying you're not really seeing it, I kind of want to know why. Is it the punchable face, or like what part of his game do you think is missing that you don't see NBA player?
It's not like it's just a different game, college and the pros, right? Because like a guy like that's like it could be like a 6th man in college right now, like you do their Florida State. He's a 6th man on the squad. You don't even start for them, but he's going to be one of the top picks in the draft. It doesn't make sense to most people, right? Like a couple years ago, Jaren Jackson Jr. was one of my favorite prospects in the class about 2 years ago. And he wasn't even the best player on his squad in Michigan. They actually had another big that was getting more love than him. And the other big, I don't even know if he got drafted, but Jaren Jackson went 4th overall. You know what I'm saying? So the NBA just looks at shit a little differently. Luka Garza is like a dude that is like a really, really polished player. I could maybe see him trying to make a roster, but I mean, I don't know if he's got he just reminds me of those type of college players that traditionally have failed in the league. She kind of reminds me of like Sean May. Remember how good Sean May was? I remember how good Sean May was. Sean May was so good at North Carolina. He was so good, man, so dominant. And that was when I was young in my scouting days. You feel me? A young Padawan I was at that time. I was actually I was seeing like he was like a baby Shaq, right? Or something like that, a baby Shaq Duncan hybrid. Like if you're looking at Sean May from the eyes of college basketball, you think he's actually one of the great bigs to ever do the damn thing. Another name, I mean, he's still a legend because he bagged Candace Parker. But my guy Sheldon Williams, man.
Hey, Sheldon Williams was so nice that he got Candace Parker. That's how nice he was at basketball.
He was nice, bro. He was like, people forget, bro. He was like literally the Karl Malone of college basketball. He was that prolific, bro. He was that prolific. Like at that time, bro, he was the man. That was like on some like. If that was like Love and Basketball, bro, he was cute, bro. He was cute at the time. He was the man, bro. I'll tell you
one thing. That guy finessed his way. He finessed it. I got to give him credit for that, man. He deserved to be in the College Hall of Fame for that play alone. But, bro, I can't let the Luka Garza hate stand. For one, Luka from around the way, man. He's from D.C., I believe. Well, he might not be born in D.C., but he's from around that area. And I'm not necessarily saying that Luka's a top-notch NBA player, but I do think it would be a mistake if Luka's not drafted. Luka Garza got talent, bro. He's very, very talented. And you know what he reminds me of? A very light version, so don't jump on me. But I see a little bit of Nikola Jokic in him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to get his distributing skills up, but his under the basket skills, the ability to stretch the floor with the three ball, his 8 to this 6 to 10 feet away from the basket game, his touch around the rim. I mean, Luka's got talent, bro. Luka's got talent. I think the thing that turns people off about Luka Garza is the fact that he's not athletic. But let's revisit Nikola Jokic's athleticism. You guys remember where Nikola Jokic got drafted? Which round? What pick number? I believe he was a second round pick. I believe Nikola Jokic was a second round pick. I could be off on that. So I'm gonna have to look that up. But Nikola Jokic went very late in the NBA draft. He was not a top 5 guy. I want to say he was like pick number 41. So Nikola Jokic was a second round pick. Probably because he was a little chubby. They probably looked at him like, this guy's not athletic. This guy's slew-foot a little bit. And I think Nikola Jokic is getting that. I mean, I think Luka Garza is getting that same rap. Obviously, he's not as talented as Nikola Jokic right now. That's just a fact. But I do see a little bit of him I do see a little bit of Jokic in him when I watch him play, man. He's got a little X factor to his game. And you can't teach that size, that's for sure. Not only teach the size, but really you can't teach the ability to be able to use your body. And I think that's one thing that Nikola Jokic is great at. He knows how to take up the space. He knows where to be. And that's one thing I see in Garza's game for sure.
Yeah. I'm not buying the comp, man. I'm not buying it.
I like version, bro. I like version.
How tall is Luka Garza? He's not nearly.
He's about 6'10". Come on, bro.
Yeah, 6'9".
Reaching. He more like Louis Scola.
Yeah, he's same height as Jokic. They both 6'11", bro.
Bro,
I don't see it, dog.
14 out of 20, bro. How's this kid not like a decent player?
I'm not saying he's not a decent player. I don't think he's going to succeed. I don't think he could succeed on the NBA level.
Hey, man.
I hear you on that.
That's what I mean, though. Hey,
not even.
He's a Walmart Jokic, but a Walmart Jokic. That's a great value. Jokic is still pretty damn good, bro. Like that's
ain't nothing wrong with great value.
Get out of here. He is not. He is not a Walmart Jokic. He is a.
Bro. He's a Walmart Jokic.
AliExpress Jokic. Get out of here.
Oh God! Come on, man. One of the great college basketball players of the last couple of years. I don't see him flaming out like a Sean May, bro. I feel like you put Jokic on the team, just the fact that he can stretch the floor the way he can, he can get offensive rebounds the way he can. He's going to be able to make an impact in the league. I'm not saying he's going to be a double-double guy. I'm not saying he's going to be a triple-double guy like Jokic. But if he gets his distributing up and he's got to work on his body, he got to get his athleticism up a little bit. But that's what Jokic did, man. When Jokic first came to the league, like he was getting outplayed by Nurkic, another itch. Nurkic was outplaying Jokic when he first got in the league, bro. And that's a fact. And we see how that's turned out.
Yeah, man. I don't see it. He's just not. Yeah, thank you, T. He can't defend his space.
Neither can Jokic.
He can't defend his space, and he's super unathletic. Yeah, but I mean, he just doesn't move that well, man. You know, obviously, that's a debilitating weakness to have on the next level, bro. Especially when the game has become very.
Bro.
He is not Jokic, bro. Jokic is one of the most gifted passers I've seen in any position over the last 20 years.
Jokic. He's not Jokic. That's a fact. But he is a light version, bro. Especially at the college level, bro. Like he takes over those games, bro. He's been taking over games all season for Iowa. Matter of fact, for 2 straight seasons for Iowa, he's been taking over games. And you love that conference, right? I mean, you like those teams. I mean, come on, give the man some credit.
I like them in college, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they're pro prospects. I'm just saying what it is, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey, I think he's a good player. I think he can make the league, you know, but I don't see him being like a talent. I think he'll be probably just as successful as Tyler Hansbrough was in the league. So not very, you know, successful.
So if he's put in the right situation, you don't think he could be somebody? In a league that's a dying position of a center, right? Because there's not that many great centers in this league. You don't think he could be in a top 15 in 3 years?
No.
To be developed?
No.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's developmental. I think the right spot, man, he could be somebody. But only in the right spot.
Nobody saw it for Jokic coming into the draft, bro.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, no one.
Nobody saw it for Jokic. When I first saw Jokic, I was like, bro, this dude chubby. Like I said, man, I used to think Nurkic was a lot better when they was on the same team. Like nobody saw it for Jokic. I'm not saying guard is going to be some sort of NBA great, but I think his skills do translate to the NBA game right now. He can distribute the basketball, he can stretch the floor, and he can offensive rebound. You can put that guy in it. You can put that guy just about on the end of any roster. He's going to make it.
Yeah, maybe he'll make a roster. I see best case scenario for him, like in terms of like career outlook. I mean, I could see him being best case scenario, somebody that you could bring off the bench and, get you a couple buckets, be a specialist, be a good role player. Maybe it's about as good as like a guy like Louis Scola. You know what I'm saying? Comes to mind. He's a name that comes to mind. I think maybe he could about be as good as like a Todd Gibson, different skill set, but just that kind of a play. I don't know, man.
Don't let Philly draft Garza because this guy Scruff gonna be watching his highlights like, bro, Garza's gonna be the next Jokic. As soon as Philly drafts him, man, my man's gonna be sold, bro. He's gonna be sold.
Well, if he was on Philly, he damn sure wouldn't be starting. So he'd just be looking like a bench player. Well, just like I said, bro, he would be looking like a backup. Best case scenario, bro. Maybe he can be a rotational player, bro. But I'm not.
Bro,
I'm not.
The way Embiid helped us, bro, he'd be a starter.
Man, get out of here, man.
I do kind of like this topic, man. Kind of focusing on individual players that look like, do they have the talent for the next level? And Scrub, you mentioned another guy earlier in Cade Cunningham, man. Cade Cunningham is a big reason why my bracket is busted because every year in the tournament, there's that one guy from a team that kind of just carries the squad to greatness. And I thought that Cade Cunningham, I was high on Cade coming into the tournament, and I thought that Cade could be that guy for Oklahoma State. But it's proven that he's not. Don't get me wrong, he is a dog. I still think he's definitely a lottery pick, no question. But I wouldn't pick him top 1, 2, probably not even 3 at this point because I feel like Cade Cunningham lacks a little bit of the aggressiveness I like to see from those big stars, man. And don't get me wrong, I like Cade's game. It's super smooth, but sometimes I thought it was a little too smooth. I felt like he didn't really bring enough against Oregon State. I felt like he had the talent to take over that game. And I think there were some moments where he did, but down the stretch, it was just like it wasn't enough Cade for me. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Cade Cunningham and his NBA prospects.
Man, I think I couldn't disagree with you more, bro. I mean, I think he might be the best player in the draft. I put him in the top 3. I really like I like both of the Jalen's. I like Jalen Suggs. I like Jalen Green, at D-League. D-League got a couple nice prospects. Jonathan Kuminga is another top 5 prospect that played in the G League this year on their Team McKnight, which is a new thing that they're doing. Pretty good crop this year. But I'd say Cade Cunningham possesses a much higher basketball IQ than the rest of them guys. I mean, the thing about the tournament, man. I mean, some of the dudes, man. Cade Cunningham just came in there, man. I mean, it's tough when you're an NBA draft prospect. He's a one and done, man. So I get it, man. Them guys are Oregon State. This is the greatest moments of their life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy for those guys. But Cade Cunningham, he's going to move on. He's going to have much greater moments and much bigger stages. And he could, with all due respect, give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? So like, he's good. Like this kid I think he's a transcendent player. I think he's like, he reminds me kind of like I heard the Grant Hill comparisons, but more of a true point guard basketball IQ. I think he could play off the ball. I think he could play on the ball. I think in the big moments he could hit some big shots. But I think he's still growing into the player that he is. And this prospect class I'm not crazy high on this prospect class as a whole. So far, I think there's a nice even mesh of talent. I don't know if there's one guy that's run away to me as been a number 1 pick. So I think this is a very interesting draft. Another guy we're talking about as a top prospect is Evan Mobley. I think he might be the most solid prospect in the draft all around. It's hard for me to say that he's not the number 1 pick, Evan Mobley, but that would just be based on my evaluation of the players. But Cade Cunningham, to me, you're talking about guards, but I mean, Jalen Suggs has everything that you would want, in a perimeter player, so he has many of the skills, but I just see a certain feel for the game with Cade Cunningham, and I see him contributing in so many different ways, and I just see his game translating to the NBA much better. That's just me, but yeah,
It Suggs for me at this point. Jalen
Yeah,
Suggs he's the better athlete of the two. I think he has a better feel for the game out of the two. I think he has the better shot, the better handle, and that dude is, to me, I feel like Jalen Suggs is kind of transcendent, man. Like the dude could have went and started at Ohio State and played quarterback. I mean, if he didn't have to go to college, if he didn't have to go somewhere for a year, he would have went straight to the NBA too. Man, Jalen Suggs has impressed me. He's impressed me. I mean, not losing the game your freshman year, like, and putting up the type of numbers he's putting up. I think he's averaging 16 and a half or 15 and a half with a team that's lauded with, experienced players. They're deferring to him. Man, Jalen Suggs is the real deal, bro. To me, he's the first pick for me right now. And I do love Evan Mobley too. That's a versatile big. Evan Mobley can do a lot. He fits the mold of the NBA big right now. But man, Jalen Suggs, I've been super, super impressed. And I came into the turn. Y'all know I've been a Cade Cunningham guy all year. I'm still high on Cade. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't like him anymore, but I saw some things about his game that to me it was a little too passive. And I feel like when it's time for prime time, you got to have that guy that wants to go and get it. He could develop into that, but I just didn't see it. I didn't see that killer instinct in the tournament.
yeah, that's kind of how I felt about Cade, man. I feel like he's gonna develop. I feel like he like Scruff kind of hit it earlier. He's gonna have bigger moments. He's gonna have better moments. More to come from Cade for sure. But for me, it's definitely Jalen Suggs, man. I mean, I'm big on Gonzaga. I'm big on Suggs. We'll talk about it on our Final Four predictions in a second, but it's definitely Suggs for me.
man, I think a lot of folks are sleeping a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there. Jalen Green, actually, I think is a name that y'all probably not as familiar with because he played in the G League this year. But I think that Jalen Green is just as good as Jalen Suggs. Maybe that's like a unpopular opinion. Maybe that's like a little. I don't know, man. He averaged like damn near 18 points a game against like grown ass. Like he's playing against like 24, 25-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good, man. Pretty good. And he playing. I'm interested to see how the G League prospects that are going into this year's class are going to perform versus the guys that were playing in college. What's the better prep route? And are we going to see more of this continuing on? It's definitely an interesting process. But last, as we wrap up with the college basketball, we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent with the prospects. But Final Four picks, man. Our original brackets are busted. I haven't even looked at it since. It's disgusting. But y'all, who y'all got in the Final Four now that the brackets is out and Cinderella's glass slippers are all laid out, man? What do y'all think, man? Is this the year that underdog's gonna get one? Bryce, who you got in the Final Four?
I'm so tempted to go with the underdog, man. Y'all know me. I love a good underdog story. It's tough. It's very tough, but I've been really impressed with Arkansas, man. And I just don't know if Oral Roberts can get past him. A-Smith is balling out of his mind. That step back jumper is money. He gets to the rack in a hurry. But I'm gonna go with Arkansas versus Baylor in the Elite Eight. I'm gonna go with Baylor winning that. I think Baylor's the second best team left after Gonzaga. So I got Baylor. My second team I've been most impressed with, and I was impressed with them coming in. That's Jim Boeheim, Syracuse Orange, man. Like they balling out. And when Boeheim got his son on the team, Buddy, they call him Buddy Buckets, and Buddy is definitely a bucket, man. He's unconscious for three. They've got really good feel. Their point guard's got a really good feel for the game. I really like what Syracuse is doing. So I got Syracuse in there. Then I got Gonzaga, of course. I mean, they've been on a tear. I do think if Gonzaga, sweeps the regular season undefeated, goes to the tournament, wins the championship, this has got to be one of the most legendary seasons in college basketball history. And then shout out to my guy Juwan Howard, man. I got Michigan. I do think Alabama's a tough out though. Like Alabama's gonna be Alabama's gonna get by UCLA, and they're a tough out. They've been blowing teams out all year. Like they've got a couple like 25, 30-point wins. They just did it again to Maryland. I think they beat Maryland by like 22 or 25 or something like that, something ridiculous. They've got a squad over there, man. Not really known as a basketball school, but the way they've turned around has been impressive. I just don't see them getting by Michigan. Juwan Howard got them boys playing tough. So yeah, that's my Final Four: Michigan, Gonzaga, Baylor, and then Syracuse.
Yeah, shout out Juwan Howard, man. I love seeing the former players. Yeah, Patrick Ewing back as a coach. Got Juwan Howard making a run with Michigan. It all feels right. Rome, who you got in your Final Four?
Oh man, it does feel right with Juwan Howard, man, but I think Bama's gonna get by him. My on that side of the bracket, I'm looking a lot like Bryce. I got Gonzaga, but I got Bama instead of Michigan. Although I would not be mad to see my man Juwan Howard, big Juwan Howard fan right here. On the other side of the bracket, I'm looking at I'm no Cinderellas for me. I know we've been talking a lot about Cinderellas, but I think that's gonna be, the Cinderella story this tournament is that there was a bunch of people that had chances, and that was all they got was a chance. Ain't nobody's getting the ring. I'm gonna go Villanova and Houston on the other side. So that's what my Final Four is looking like. No Cinderellas for me.
Okay. G, what you think, man? What you got in your Final Four?
I got, of course, Gonzaga. I'm going to go Villanova for the experience. And then on the other side, I'm going to have Michigan and Syracuse.
Wow, okay. A lot of love for Syracuse. A lot of love for Syracuse. Man, I'm not that high on Syracuse. I don't think they're that good. I think they got lucky. Not got lucky, but I think that they've had a favorable run. I think that run's going to end with Houston. I think Houston might actually end up possibly winning it all. But I got them in my Final Four, bar none. Rutgers lost to a team that is truly like digging in deep. That's a real team full of dogs working hard. I like them out of the Midwest bracket. I like a big time Cinderella. I do like Villanova a lot. I do like Villanova over Baylor potentially. I'm not 100% sold on that. I'm not 100% sold on either one of those teams. I'd actually like Oral Roberts to advance out of that bracket. I like Oral Roberts to make the Final Four. That would be an ultimate Cinderella story. So I'm messing with that. I like let's see. I got Gonzaga. Give me Gonzaga out the top bracket, and then I like Michigan on the other side. Man, I like the guards out of Michigan. I think tournament's about guard play. I think Michigan's guards are about as good as it gets. So that would be my Final Four there. But it's going to be very interesting to watch, man. Very interesting to watch, man. So I hope y'all keeping track at home.
So quick question, Nick. So the way Bryce said coachings matter, I don't think the Jim Boeheim team could go to the Final Four and win?
I feel a different way about it.
The way they're playing?
Comes to coaching. I feel a different way about it when it comes to coaching. And when it comes to the system guys, the thing about Jim Boeheim is I like coaches that are adjustable, So I think that Jim Boeheim, the 2-3 zone, it's cool. But I don't know, man. I think when you have a certain type of system like that, I think you can game plan against it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think Jim Boeheim and them make a run.
Bro, that 2-3 that they run is not a normal 2-3.
Is the team we got to be thinking about.
I know it's not. It's the best 2-3 zone of all 2-3 zones. Yeah, exactly. And that's not sustainable, bro.
I mean, he's been to 5 Final Fours, bro. You can't take anything away from Boeheim, bro. That 2-3 zone is deadly. It is not easy to prepare for. It is not easy to game plan for. If it was, they would not be an 11 seed in Sweet 16. That 2-3 zone is very tough to game plan for. You put the fact on top of that he has his son balling for him. Anytime I see a player and his son is playing for him, I already know what time it is because he already know exactly what his pops want. It's like back when McDermott for Creighton had Dougie Buckets playing for him, and Creighton went on that crazy season. Whenever I see that, I know what time it is, bro. Then their big man, they got the Euro big man at the 5 who can stretch the floor. They got the little point guard, bro, with the tray ball. Syracuse is legit, man. Syracuse is legit. They flew under the radar for sure during the regular season, but I would not be surprised to see them in the Final Four. And because of their play style, because of how hard it actually is to game plan for, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the championship, bro. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Man, y'all are buying it. Y'all are just buying an image. Y'all are buying an image.
Nah,
Y'all are
bro.
buying an image.
It's been,
Y'all are
it's
buying
been
an
the
image.
reason why
like that for
isn't that
Syracuse.
the reason why people buy a Lexus and not a Toyota?
Yeah, exactly. You're
Which
right
one
there
lasts
with me.
longer?
You right there with me. Y'all buying brands here, man.
Both.
I'm
I'm baby.
I'm buying parts. I see the parts and the movements. I think, like I said, I think I like Houston in the finals against Gonzaga, and I think Houston's scrappy as can be.
You want to dub me?
Nah.
I'll take Syracuse over Houston, buddy. Since you're so confident in Houston.
Oh,
buddy.
word.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Bet.
Go ahead and put a dub
Oh,
on
easy.
that, man.
Easy.
All right, bet. Have my thing crispy. Have my dub crispy, man.
I'll get you that,
I don't
Joe.
want no wrinkle. I don't want no wrinkle to Andrew Jackson, man.
Hey man, the guys from Sportsbook is smoking hot.
Facts. We only bet dubs over here though. Y'all know what time it is. We don't bet crazy, so we just exchange money back and forth. Dub to you know how it goes.
Dub clubs. Don't worry, Bryce. I ain't gonna forget no more bets. Every time I get a bet, I tell Siri to remind me at the end of that respective season.
Y'all see who the Eagles picked up, right? There's your starting quarterback, buddy.
Oh,
Joe Flacco.
Say hello to your starter, buddy.
The writing's on the wall for Jalen Hurts. The writing's on the wall.
That dub's coming to me sooner than later. Cause you see your starter right there, buddy. Say hello to him.
The writing's on the wall.
Are you kidding me? That's
bringing in Cool Joe.
You'll see, bro.
Y'all don't believe that, man. That man Joe Flacco's arm expired about 2.5 years ago, bro.
Hey, right. You're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be pissed when you game started. You're gonna be sick. Like I can't believe it.
Bro, Joe Flacco might as well be an assistant coach.
How much they pay the man?
I don't know.
Hey, you know it's bad because they're not even a similar style. They're gonna run a whole nother offense. Joe Flacco's gonna look way better, and they're never gonna look back, man. They're never gonna look back. But that's not. Let's keep it pushing, man.
I'm not even gonna entertain that talk, man. It's clearly above me. It's above me. It's not the type of activity that I would particularly partake in. A lot like this next segment, bro. Bryce, I think you about to tell us about it. Right?
Let's get it, man. I mean, this is not something that we usually dabble in when it comes to gas. We stay away from the tabloids, from the TMZ talk, you know what I'm saying? But this one got so much hype, we just had to touch on it. Is it ever too late to take a gift back, fellas? Because in the eyes of my good man Quavo, he thinks it's never too late, man. I don't know if you guys out there watching heard about this, but Quavo from the Migos was dating the rapper Saweetie. I hope it's not Saweetie, because every time I see it spelled, I'm like, how am I supposed to say this? But he was dating Saweetie, and apparently they broke up. She aired out some details of the breakup on Twitter, and all right, King, we'll see, King. If you want to dub about Jalen Hurts having more touchdowns than Cam Newton this year, I'll take a dub from you too, buddy. But Saweetie, man, and Saweetie and Quavo fell out. And you know what my man Quavo did? He said, "Give me the Bentley back." He called the repo man on the Bentley, man. He got her a nice, fresh, clean, like a little baby blue Bentley. I ain't gonna lie, the junk was clean as hell, bro. Like, you never go wrong with the big B. My man said as soon as it was over, he needed it back, which makes me think he didn't pay for it in full to begin with. But, what else do you expect? The rappers are about the image. They're all about the image, man. So my question for you fellas, is it ever too late to take a gift back? Or once it's exchanged, should it stay in the hands of the owner, man? Rome, I seen you with a little reaction down bottom right, man. Let me hear what you got to say about this one, bro.
This is funny, man. So my mom told me at a young age, be careful what you buy a woman, man. Be careful what you buy your lady. She told me some good advice. You buy your lady some shoes, she might walk right out your life, and I took that advice to heart. So anytime that I give a gift, and I know my wife is watching, I'm a married man, so I'm good. This is all above me anyway. But but in a past life, whenever I would get a woman a gift, I would always make sure it was a gift that I didn't need nor want back. You can keep it. And if any of my exes are watching this, I hope you kept it. And I hope whenever you see it, you remember me and you get a little pissed off because you fucked up. You missed out, to be honest. But that's my take on it, man. I'm not taking the gift back. You can keep the gift, and every time you look at the gift, I hope you remember me and what you could have had.
Well,
Well,
that's a good point. I do
yeah.
like that thought process. And I'm gonna just say this, man. Ma Dukes was dropping messages early on to my boy Rome, man. I wanted to come in with don't be a menace. Message. So, man, what you got to say on this topic, bro?
First, I want to say that Rome, that saying reached my ears as well. Like I was told the exact same thing about the shoe thing. So I will never buy women's shoes. I was told that don't ring in my ears. But that's real talk, man. But when it comes to this gift taking back thing, it's actually called Indian giving. Is what it's actually called. But I agree with you, Rome, in many ways because that's a little bit of an outrageous gift, right? But I'd say it depends on the gift, right? Is it ever too late to take back a gift? It depends on the gift. You never take back sentimental gifts. It's not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? So just leave that alone. You better leave those alone. But when a gift is so massive, like a $300,000 car, a Bentley, you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? So you're not just gonna that's massive, bro. Like that's pretty massive. That's $250,000 of $1 million. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Back to the streets, right? That's her single. You feel me? So that's how he did it. He said, man, you back to the streets. You feel me? Shorty said, take care. You feel me? She hit her with the joint on Twitter. Take care. My man read that. He thought he said, take car. He said, all right. Take car? Okay. Skirt. What the hell? That's all they be at? That's their ad lib? Or no, I'm tripping. But yeah, nah. Quavo, man, he skirt. He got the repo man on shorty. He said cancel that. You feel me? Shout out Nino Brown. And I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Shorties was saying, oh, that's how we coming all summer. It's they starting the arms race has already started, man. This is terrible domino effect, man. I pray for y'all. I pray for y'all out here, brothers. Single brothers out here. I pray for y'all, man. I pray for y'all, man, because the hot girls is coming up. It's starting to get warm. Hot girls summer about to be back on the approach with the vaccines on the way. It's about to get very hot. It's about to get very hot. Shorty's on the take care energy, and the City Boys is up by 1,000 because Quavo said fuck that, and we taking back the Bentley. So I mean, is it never too late to take back a gift when it's that big of a gift? Hey man, fuck it. But I ain't taking back no either clothes, shit like that, whatever, man. It's like Rome said. Like it's all easy come, easy go. You feel me? Just remember me fondly. You feel me? And I blessed you and upgraded you along the way. You're welcome.
Hey, it's kind of wild to think that Quavo was the one that's caught cheating, and he put on Twitter, "You're just not the woman that I thought you were." That's and then I look through the comments. They got Future putting the crown on Quavo's head. I'm like, oh man, these people are crazy, bro. The internet is undefeated, man. But yeah, man, I feel where you coming from, Scruff. But at the same time, I know I'm the type of gift giver. I might not be the one that showers, my shorty with gifts. You know what I'm saying? I probably should get a little better with that. But I am the one that's gonna give you what you need. I'm gonna see what you're missing in your life. I'm gonna listen to what you're talking about, and I'm gonna try to fit my gifts into exactly what you're lacking. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I view gift giving. G, what do you think, man? Is it ever too late to give the gift back? Should Quavo have taken back $300,000 Bentley, or did he do right? Did he do right by by his own estimation?
Well, that's the alleged story. So Quavo came out and said he never took it back. It was just a rumor. But shit, if it's a car, man, I'm taking that shit back, man. I'll be damned that the next one gonna drive a car that I gave Shorty. I'm like, fuck out of here. He not about to have his homies and the shit that I'm paid for. Or we would have. I'm like, oh, now you gotta give me half of my money back. Fuck all that. I need something back in this loss. You know what I mean? Because if it's coming clothes and shit like that, now you can keep that shit. Because your next girl may not fit her. Unless it's something like
you re-gifting out here, G? G, you re-gifting it?
You gotta do what you gotta do, baby.
I'm dead, bro. You said your next
Somebody
one might
what
not
kind of
fit,
do you
bro.
anyway? I'm taking back that car, bro. Fuck that. And I'm taking them rims. I'm taking everything back. And that air freshener. I bought that shit. Fuck out of here. She ain't about to hold none of that shit. I'm like, yo, we gonna. It's not. I'm like, unless he gonna take care of the other car notes, I'm like, all right, but he can have that shit. I just need that deposit back, and we even.
Man,
Man,
so all right, that's cool.
it
We
makes
know who the
sense.
pettiest is. We know who the pettiest of the Twitter crew is.
My man G said, look, like
I
I
am
bought this for her,
super
but
petty.
you can fit it now.
You said y'all was the same size. It's all good.
Nah, he said, yo, that's pretty player
We're
though.
her same size.
He said, what
Hey,
size
if
you
you can
wear?
pull that off, you player. So if you can pull that off, that's pretty player, bro. You feel me? You passing down the hand me downs to your next job. That's impressive.
I know one thing, man.
Think
Either way,
about it like this. How many times y'all don't hear these stories? Shorties get mad at us and want to cut our sneakers, burn our shit, and that shit cool. But I want to take my shit back after we break up. I can't tell. So who real petty? What is double standard at life? Fuck out of here.
we're not double
Right.
standards at all. I feel you though, man. Like I guess when you talking about $300,000, you know, that it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But you know, if these rappers got the money like they talking they got, 300 really ain't too much. It's like us spending 1,000 or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. To me, I feel like personally, if I give you something, it's yours. I don't want it back. If I gave it to you, I damn sure don't want it back. I don't want no tarnish anything. You already drove around in it. Keep it. Enjoy it. Remember me
Fellas,
by
now
it.
y'all know any of Bryce old ladies with a new car, y'all in there. Y'all riding it. You sound crazy. You crazy.
Oh no, bro. That's just me. That's just how I do it, man. But you know, shifting the conversation just a little bit. You know, Quavo comes from one of the powerhouse rap groups of the moment. You know, the Migos are definitely one of those groups right now that you could say might be one of the best hip hop groups out there right now. Not that there's a ton of competition because the era of the hip hop group has kind of died. But once upon a time, the hip hop group was lit, bro. That's kind of how you heard every dope rapper came from a group. It seemed like at one point, or was in one. Now it's a little different. You got collectives now. You know what I'm saying? You got like the ASAP Mob and stuff like that. But I don't know. It ain't the same. It ain't the same at all. So you know, let's get to a top five, man. Today's top five is top five hip hop groups of all time. When you're talking all time, man, you really got to get in your bag. It's so many groups. You know, these lists are pretty subjective, so don't get mad at us if we leave your favorite group off. But I'll go ahead and kick it off with this one today, fellas. So my top five hip hop groups of all time, man. Number five, I had to go back to my childhood. I think G gonna like this one. G-Unit. Hey, G-Unit is my number five hip hop group of all time, man. Just because at the time when they came out, I think I mentioned this before, man. When 50 Cent came out, everybody had on the 50 Cent tank top, bro. If you ain't have a 50 Cent tank top, you wasn't lit, man. The whole G-Unit had on the 50 Cent tank top. They was wearing matching tank tops in the videos. But 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks,
that was a summer vibe.
Tony Yayo, bro, it was definitely a vibe, bro. And then when they brought the game in, and then 50 in the game was doing their little back and forth, like, man, they used to crank, bro. They used to go in, bro. So number five, I got to give it to them. Number four, man, classic group. And anytime you got the GOAT, Lauryn Hill in a group, you know what time it is. Number four, I got the Fugees, man. Classic group. I don't think there's too much that really needs to be said about them. Number three, they fresh off a versus battle. You know what I'm saying? I've got Wu-Tang. Honestly, bro, I kind of was hip to Wu-Tang a little later in the game because, like, I guess when I was a youngster, man, Wu-Tang wasn't at their peak. But once I got into high school, I started, kind of going into the Wu-Tang archives. Definitely one of the best groups of all time. Some of the best lyricists in one group. When you think about how many heavy hitters were in one group, it's almost unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, honestly. So shout out to the architect, my guy RZA, man, put the whole thing together, man. That dude is definitely a mastermind. Number two, this could have got number one. I battled with this one over and over again, but I got Outkast, man. The combination of Andre 3K and Big Boy is damn near undefeated. I mean, they went through so many different phases of being a group. You know, you had them in a serious phase when they was young boys in the jerseys back before Andre was wearing the loud clothing. Then you had them when they was on a love below tip. You know what I'm saying? Back when they was hey ya and going all crazy, making the viral hits. And then even to this day, I think Andre 3K is one of the best lyricists. And every once in a while he'll jump on somebody random's track. And then Big Boy is definitely, to me, one of the most underrated lyricists of all time. He doesn't get the credit he deserves as an artist. Maybe because people think, Andre 3K was so transcendent, but Big Boy can hold his own with anybody, and that's a fact, bro. Definitely with a perfect combination. And my number one hip hop group of all time is man, I had to give it to him, man. It's Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro. Like Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. Me and my cousin actually went to see Bone Thugs and Harmony a couple years ago. Not too long before the pandemic. It was one of the best experiences I had at a hip hop show. Bone got so many classic hits, bro, that I just like came up off as a kid, bro. Like, I mean, they got classics with like some of the best artists of all time. I mean, they got shit with Pac, they got shit with Biggie, bro. Like, Bone Thugs and Harmony is a classic hip hop group, man. And the way they presented themselves is something so unique. Like, you don't see groups harmonizing, a whole group harmonizing. It was more like an R&B group at times, bro. Like, man, and then their live show is ridiculous. So if you ever get the opportunity to see Bone Thugs and Harmony, definitely take it. They still on stage doing it like they was doing it when they was 21, man. So that's my number one hip hop group of all time. And the Crossroads is definitely one of the best albums. Like, like that they killing it, bro. They was killing it back in the day. So Scruff, man, let's hear your top five, bro.
Man, I'm glad you threw the bone out there because they were tough, man. They were in the conversation for me for sure. But I'll go ahead and drop my five, man. Number five, I got Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep, man. Man, yo, solid, bro. Pretty solid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some of the hardest Jones Shook ones is definitely one of my favorite hip hop instrumentals, hip hop songs of all time, man. They definitely deserve some love. So go ahead and throw them out there. I'll throw number four, man. NWA. You got Dr. Dre, you got Eazy-E, you got Ice Cube, man. You got one of the most iconic groups of all time, man. You know what I'm saying? They fuck the police, man. The whole movement, man. It was wild, bro. It was iconic. It was something special, man. It was Black history in a sense, in many senses, and then birthing of a new level of hip hop. So iconic beyond its own means. Number three, I got the Wu-Tang Clan, man. Deep roots for me, man. When I first started listening to hip hop, my cousins was heavy on the Wu-Tang Clan, bro. And that's how I first got introduced to hip hop, man, through the Wu-Tang Clan, man. So I love the Wu-Tang Clan, but that shit is how I came up in the game, bro. And then as I developed my own taste, I started getting into the real spitters. That's yup, hell yeah. Wu-Tang, bro. That was they had so many great rappers on that squad. Man, Redman, obviously some of my favorite ODB. But next up, I got the Locks. Jada, Styles, Sheik Luch, man. You know what I'm saying? I love them all, man. Great combinations, bro. They hit you with the, We Gonna Make It is always gonna be one of my favorite songs of all time, bro. I listen to that joint regularly, bro. Regularly. And then next up, I got. I guess that's I'm about to be at number one. So last up, I got my number one group. It's Outkast, man. For me, it's number one. Andre 3K, man. To me, he might be one of the best rappers to ever do it, man. Really. When I listened to some of the stuff that he did back in the early '90s, it was just like, yo, he was so far ahead of his time, man. AT Aliens, you know what I'm saying? It was just like so many. Aquemini, like this, he just did it. Like he just was funky with the flow on all types of levels. And then you had Big Boy, who had the whole different vibe. They was hitting you with it from so many different levels. And then they hit you with like even new school Outkast was like, transcendent beyond just like your traditional hip hop. The Speaker Box Love Below concept, one of my favorite albums of all time. definitely mainstream appeal. You still hear in some of them songs, you know what I'm saying, that I like the way you move, that hey ya, you know what I'm saying? Them joints are worldwide hits. Outkast is my number one group of all time.
I like it, man. I feel like you can't go wrong with any of those on that list, man. Shout out to the Locks, man. All three of them were great individual acts too. G, I feel like there's a lot of New York that's about to be on your list, man. Let's hear it.
Super, but I got 2 honorable mentions, man. You gotta put the Underground Key with Pimp C and Bun B.
Mm-hmm.
The other honorable mentions gonna be Method Man and a Redman, man. Gave us How High. They both got that Blackout album, man. Them joints was hard. Duo, super dupe group. And then to start off my list, I'm gonna start off with Amigos, man. New era for the youth.
Okay.
And our age right here. Talking about Amigos, Nick is the one who put me on to Amigos, man. At first I wasn't a big fan until I started chilling with Nick and doing some explicit activities where I'm not supposed to. Well, now it's legalized in New Jersey, smoking some herbs and spices. It just put me onto that different southern sound, and then that was the wave. So I'm gonna go with Amigos, and then after that I'm gonna go with Mobb Deep, because just how Havoc with the beats and Prodigy with the lyrics, like out of the both of them, it was a perfect combination, like peanut butter and chocolate. We're both of those 2 guys, man, because Havoc's always produced the right beats. And when you had him on the beat, then you had Prodigy with the 16s going all out. And after that, man, surprisingly, my number 3 is gonna be G Unit, man. Just like how Bryce said it, man. You can't also forget that 50 Cent was the first dude with the spinning chain, with the spinning G Unit change, bro. That was a whole summer vibe. That was a whole era. That was just crazy. And he gave us Lloyd Banks, one of my top 5 dead or alive. And he gave us Buck. We all either had one or had a cousin who had one. The free Yayo t-shirt. God knows you're not supposed to have that shit around. And
free Yayo.
And then my number 2 is gonna be the Outkast, man. It's just like what you guys said, man. Just the best rhymers in the game, man. They don't get their roses. Not from a lot of people, but people tend to forget, man. Outkast is like legitimately some of the best duo when it comes to lyrics. And my last one is on Dipset, bro. Like Killer Cam, he was a nice pink made pink popping. Joel Santana, and then you got Jim Jones, super gritty, super gangster, and that was a whole era, man. For me, between G Unit and Dipset, man, when it comes to an era. It's like G Unit had the mixtapes, but who had like the sound up here up north? It had to be Dipset.
Yeah,
so I would have to go to Dipset as my number 1 group.
That's a good one, G. I forgot about that.
Oh my god!
Like how we forget about Joel Santana? I mean, Joel Santana had he had this little great duo with him, Lil Wayne, with I Can't Feel My Face mixtapes. You had Jim Jones still doing his Bergan thing, gave us Max B, Stack Bundles. You know, and this all came from Cameron. Like all these are like branches of Cameron. Because the fact, and he had Freaky Zeke with what was it, 730 Dipset, and that whole nother wave. Like that's why I gotta say, like Dipset is really like something big.
Yeah, that's a good one, G.
Thanks.
Oh, bruh. All right, is it on me?
It's on you, bro.
Bruh, oh man, I wish y'all could see my notes right now, bro. I've been scribbling so much shit in and out, bro. Like this has been the hardest top 5 for me, man. Like I had 5 when we started. I listened to all 3 of y'all. I had to readjust my list. There's people I forgot. There's groups that I'm sure I'm gonna forget. Like Gito, I got 2 honorable mentions real quick because I had to readjust this so many times. I gotta mention the Hot Boys, Lil Wayne, BG, Turk. I'm taking it back a little bit. But I gotta mention the Hot Boys, man. Y'all got me thinking. When you said Dipset, bro, I was like, look, there's so many groups that haven't even been mentioned yet. So I gotta throw the Hot Boys out there. And another personal group for me, the Big Timers, Birdman and Manny Fresh, man. They had some hits. They didn't have a long run, but they definitely dropped some gems in a short span of time. But let me go ahead and just get to my top 5, man. Number 5, I had to scratch this out a bunch of times, but G just said it. I gotta go Dipset. I can't leave Killer Cam and Joel's and the whole squad, all that. They got to be on my list, man. Dipset was a whole an era, a vibe, man. Like if you know, you know. Number four, I got to go NWA, man. Like the original OG group. Their impact on really the country as a whole can't be understated. So they got to be in the top five for me. Number three, I got to go with the Fugees, another group with a huge impact on a lot of people, man. Lauryn Hill is one of the greatest artists I think of all time. So the fact that she's a part of the group gets them in my top five alone. Number two, I'm gonna go with Wu Tang, another group who has huge impact, man. You want to talk about crossover appeal without even really having the crossover appeal. I mean, they were very hood, very much, street and for the culture. But I have a ton of Caucasian friends who know all the lyrics to Wu Tang. It's like religion, man. Wu Tang ain't nothing to mess with. uh, and number one for me, man, I had to go Outkast. Outkast because for me, they stand the test of time. Anytime I play a lot of hip hop, my 7-year-old doesn't always vibe with everything I play, but every Outkast song I've ever played, he wants to learn the lyrics. He wants to vibe to it. Like Outkast, they're just it, man. Andre 3000, one of the best lyricists of all time. Um, Big Boys, he's a legend. Y'all have already stated all the great things about Outkast. I don't need to regurgitate it, but for me, number one has got to be Outkast, classic group. That's my top five, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. By the time we're off the show, I'll probably have a whole nother five.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Because the more I heard y'all listen to them all, I started thinking of more honorable mentions, man. That was a hell of a list, Ron. I like that list a lot. And the honorable mentions, man. Big timers, those are my guys. Another honorable mention I gotta throw in there is 3-6 Mafia, bro. I mean, yeah, man. DJ Paul, man, Juicy J, Crunchy Black, and then what's Shorty's name? I can't remember her name right now. Her name is she was a beast, though. She was a beast, bro. She was a beast. Like, and she hates to be left out. So my apologies, Queen. But 3-6 Mafia used to crank, bro. Like it's a lot of hip hop groups from that mid 2000s. That's almost like when the hip hop groups started really falling out. You know what I'm saying? Like around the mid 2000s, late 2000s. G Unit might have been the last of the Mohicans when it came to hip hop groups. I'm surprised nobody threw D12 in there, man. D12,
hey, that wouldn't have been a bad one.
Yeah, D12, they had a nice little run, bro. Eminem had a nice little squad with them.
We're gonna the fans, y'all gotta leave some comments on this, man, because we're definitely forgetting a ton of people. I mean, we could have thrown the Roots out there. There's a vast amount of hip hop groups. A vast amount.
When you talk about D12, that's more like Eminem.
That's Eminem, but they had Big Boy. What's Fat Boy's name in the joint? They had Proof. They had some.
You tripping. D12 ain't even 12 on the list. They not let alone top five. But another joint out there is Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
And Black Star.
Tribe Called Quest, man. I was back and forth with them. They should have been an honorable mention.
Yeah, they definitely should have made somebody's list for sure. I remember seeing them in concert.
Yeah,
that's another group, bro. Like you can't take nothing away from them. I mean, nobody said Clips. Come on,
Clips, shit.
I'm sitting here in Virginia. Forgive me.
Like, it's a lot of hip hop.
Forgive me. I should have definitely said the Clips.
Bryson Rome. Yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself right now.
They had Pharrell on the producing, like young Pharrell just whipping it up, bro. I mean,
bro, their first album, bro, like that. Oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah, no, it's some groups, bro. It's hard to narrow it down to five. You know what I'm saying? So it is good to just kind of remember some of these groups, man. Like I said, the group era, bro, in hip hop has definitely faded away. Like we mentioned, man, Migos only group. All the other groups either not around anymore or they broke up. But I know one group that ain't breaking up, man. That's the Gas Presents Sports for the Culture panel, man. We ain't going nowhere, man. We 5 strong. My guy T ain't in here tonight, but we ain't no group without T. So I think we definitely the strongest sports group out there right now. So let's keep it going, man. Another great episode. We up to like episode 48, 49, something crazy, man. Season 2 coming soon, fellas. We about to be done with season 1, man. It's wild, man. So make sure y'all stay tuned for season 2. It's lit. Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. If you haven't downloaded the Gas Sports Network app, go to your app store, type in Gas Sports Network, and it's the first thing that pops up. You know what you see when you see those brackets like that? You know it's gas, man. Make sure you following the wave. Big things coming for the rest of the year. We're gonna have some live boxing. We're gonna have season 2, of course. We got some other shows in the works, so make sure y'all stay in tune. Oh man, my man just dropped the honorable mention out of nowhere. Lil Jon, the East Side Boys did crank. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They had a nice little run. They had a nice little run. But yeah, like I said, man, if you're not following us, it's at GoodAssSports on all platforms. You know, we got everything. My man Rome with the pick. You see the hat he's wearing in that pick. You can copy one of those hats, man. They clean. We got the merch. Scruff, man. Tell the people anything I missed. Tell the people what I missed, man. I don't know if I missed anything.
If you did the gas bracket challenge, you probably beat me. So you probably end up with a bundle. So keep a lookout for that. If we're going to announce the winners at the end of the tournament. Besides that, if you want to get one off the gristle, off the hustle, you feel me? All gas masks are available for $10 right now. $10, man. Because the Rona might be his thing of the past, so we gotta get rid of those things. I'm keeping a buck with you. I got like 100 masks. I'm trying to get rid of them. You feel me? Straight up. Gotta get rid of them. Plus, what I'll do actually is for every 5 masks that I sell, I'll donate 50. How about that? So that's a good cause. So I'll donate 50 to the local hospital. I'll put the gas branding on them too, so they know what time it is. They know where to be at 10:30 on a Tuesday evening. But besides that, fellas, y'all know what time it is, man. You know how we close this thing out, man, because we sports for the culture. So sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.